When it comes to drugstore bronzers, Physicians Formula definitely owns that market share. The statistics show that one of their bronzers within their current existing lineup is sold every 15 seconds here in the United States of America. That's pretty strong. With the addition of their butter bronzers back in January of 2016, those numbers are just going to continue to rise. Now, as we are moving into January 2018, 2 new shade colors have been added to the existing 2 shades that are in the Physicians Formula butter bronzers. The first shade is called Light, and then the second shade is called Bronze. Now we have Sunkissed, which is going to be considered the 3rd shade, and then we have the deepest shade, which is just called Deep. They keep it real simple here. You have the see-through packaging. You push in for the closing mechanism, and it has the pull-out tray right underneath. Excuse me, it does not actually pull out. It's still part of the compact. It has the like breathing type holes, I like to call them, down there so that the air can ventilate if you have your portable sponge inside. I do want to talk about the sponge real quick. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but it's a very thin, almost like, I would say the material is like the material that you would find in the cushion compact. So it has that springy cushion feel. At the color part here, you hold it and then you go into the bronzer, and then you can just, what I did is I just pressed it into my skin and just started to move it about to blend it out. This is not how I want to apply my bronzer, but again, it's there for you if you want it as a portable mechanism. Close it, and there you go. Every time I open the compact, that smell, that whiff is just, it's so intoxicating. That's the only word I can really describe this. The scent is so intoxicating. You don't like the strong smells, you don't like that scent, this isn't going to be something you're probably going to be pleased with. It is a smell I notice when I wear it. It's a smell that kind of lingers, but it goes away after a while. Now, because the smell is pleasant to me, I personally don't mind it. But I did notice that it will linger, and I've gone outside and I kind of get a whiff of it, and then, you know, I think by then my nose might be used to it. But again, it's not alarming to me. Just want you to know that, of course, there is a smell to it. The butter bronzer formula is infused with 3 different types of butters. I feel that that is what is help creating this intoxicating scent. I'll make sure that all 3 of the butters are listed on the screen, but it also is helping to determine the actual texture of this formula. From doing some research, I feel that the formula for this bronzer is quite unique, and certainly not something that is found at the drugstore, certainly not something that I have even come across in department stores or from a high-end or a luxury brand. I'm assuming that the 3 butters that is infused in the powder is not only helping with the scent, helping with that soft touch to the actual powder, but it's also creating this finish on the skin that I would consider, it's almost like a slight dew is what I've noticed. It has like blurring properties in the ingredients and like a pearl formula inside. It's quite unique. It has all this stuff inside of it that is helping it, again, smooth texture. It blends out well on the skin. It moves like where you want it to move with your brush. Here's a clip of Sunkissed, and I want to show it on my palm first to show you as far as medium skin tone. So my hand palm, I will use it as my medium skin tone model and show you how the color is. It's still very subtle. I have to really get up close to see it. I was in natural sunlight, was coming through the window, and I could see some of that glow, that subtle sheen. There's also a clip of Deep swatched on my palm. I can see a difference in the Deep versus the Sunkissed, so I feel that Deep would start going into the medium light skin tones. It's still subtle, but you might be able to build it up depending on the level of intensity of that glow you would like to achieve on your skin. Since both of the bronzers offer that subtle appearance, you need to build it up. I'm going to apply them with my Kabuki bronzer brush, but I'm going to push it fairly up to the top. That way the brush hairs stay nice and compact, and I can try to not only pick up as much of the powder as possible, I can quickly start blending it in and building up that glow. There it is on my brush, and I'm just going to go right into my cheekbones, this area here where I normally would bronze up. Now I'm not going to bring it along other areas, bring it onto my forehead. I would do that if I was going to be bronzing completely. I just want to give you an idea of what the bronzer itself looks like. So let's just focus more on the cheeks itself. I just went right back in. I'm going to tap it off. I hope you can see this, but I already can see a subtle glow on my cheeks. It's working. It's providing me that it's got that. This formula is just, it baffles me is what it is. And you know, I'm just, bear with me. I'm going to dip in just a little bit as a third try, just a little bit. Tap it off, and let's go in for the third application. I'm just curious. I actually have not gone 3 times with this yet, just so that you can get an idea. I see it, and I can see it in the viewfinder. So the level of the intensity, see how that is right there? So it's building up. I can see it. It is still subtle. It's something that I do need to build up. Now, if it was darker in color, I probably wouldn't have to go at least 3 times. I would, of course, have to build it up. But I can see it. It's a subtle glow. Let's just even the face out. I'll just go right here. I'll just kind of go down the chin. Myself, I'm used to not having to do that with my bronzers. I'm used to having a pretty strong color to begin with and diffusing it out. And I can see my contrast. I can see the glow fairly fast. So for me, building it up, you know, it's a little bit like, wow, what do I got to do? Nothing I don't mind doing if I actually like the product. So that's what bronze look like. But Sunkissed, I'm not going to be able to get that effect. Sunkissed really just blends into my skin. I do actually own another Physicians Formula bronzer. Now this one has a little bit more shimmer in it. This is their Bronze Booster. It's airbrushing bronzing veil in the medium to dark shade here. And what I like about this is I kind of see it as a dual type of a product, because I can use this as a highlighter, but I can use it as a bronzer that has a little bit more shimmer effect to it, but it's not like a disco ball, and that's why I actually like it. See, inside the sun, it's already kind of faded because I've been using it a lot, but it does offer, see, it's like a bronze shade, but it definitely offers a lot more color payoff, and it has shimmer to it. See how you can immediately see the color on my palm there? So the color is there with that type of a bronzer, but it has a little bit more of a glow to it. So you definitely can see the shimmer particles in here. It's not anything that's glittery or, you know, just obnoxious is the word, but I like it. And again, I can wet my brush, I can apply it just as a highlighter, and it still offers a nice glow on the skin. What I would have liked to have seen with the deep bronzer is some darker shade selection. So I do have a couple here, and let's just start off with some that are from the drugstore. If I was looking at a brown based bronzer, like how the deep bronzer is more brown based, and I'm going by that because also my bronzers have red in them. I prefer those. This is Wet n Wild. This is a Ticket to Brazil, so you can kind of see that contrast there. I feel that the Ticket to Brazil still has a deeper shade complexion to it versus the deep. The next one I have is by NYX. This is the matte bronzer. This is in the shade Deep tan. So this is matte. This is actually my favorite bronzer from last year and I still use it. So again, see that contrast between the NYX and the Physicians Formula. I have this one by the brand Jane. They don't sell Jane anymore in my Ulta. This one actually has a little bit more of a red base to it, so that might not have been a good one to pull out. But it is drugstore. And see, I mean, stark night and day contrast right there. I also pulled out my Too Faced one. Now this is the one I actually will use on your skin tones if you're fair in complexion, but this is the dark chocolate version. So just out of curiosity, let's match them up against it. And Too Faced is actually deeper. My last bronzer to show you is, they don't make it anymore, but I mean, I still use it. This is my last backup. This is from Revlon. It was their PhotoReady bronzer. And what I liked about this is it has the 4 quads. I would just roll them together, or I would just focus it down here on the bottom. I'd use the top for eyeshadow. I mean, just, it's such a good bronzer. I wish Revlon would bring it back. They may bring it back. If they bring it back, they may have a little competition for the butter bronzer, at least for the darker skin tones. So that's what I would have wished, that the dark, I mean, if you're also going to call it dark or deep, I want to see it deeper. I want to see a richer contrast. I also would like to see several different shades. I would love to be able to see one that can go as deep as my Shea Moisture one here. Let me tell you something, Physicians Formula. In the butter bronzer formula, you make shades like this, these are going to be the first ones to sell out. We will come and we will sell out. We already are doing it. We've been doing it, and we will continue to do it. So for this side here, on the right side, let's take, I want to just take one that I actually can get at, or you can get at the store. Let's take the NYX one, since again, it's brown based. I was going to grab the Jane. Went in the second time. Looking straight on, Physicians Formula, and this is the NYX. It's about 2 times here, 3 times on the cheeks, a couple times on the side. So that can give you a little bit of idea if you are around my skin tone, you want to pick up the deep and see how it would look like on your skin tone. That might be, you know, how many times you need to apply it. So in closing, I like the texture. I like how the product blends out on my skin. I like that I can kind of adjust the intensity. Again, I'm used to adjusting it on a faster level. The butter bronzers, it definitely gets me to slow down a bit, but I do like that as the consumer, you have the option to go up, you have the option to go down. Huge drawback I see with the butter bronzers is they need to be deeper. Now, you can have these 2 deep shades. I actually don't see anything wrong with that, because again, I feel these might work for light skin tones, or even pale if you feel that bronze is still too dark, or excuse me, too light for you. These are going to work for fair skin, pale skin as well. These 2, deep or the Sunkissed. When you have a product that is labeled as deep, so deep additions to the lineup, you need to be able to offer that to the consumer so that we can actually use it as such. I would like to see the brand come out with additional shades. I would love to see one that is at least a darker brown. You can keep it brown base, make it darker, add in one that's darker with a little bit of red, and then definitely add a richer. So add 3 to 4 more darker shades, and then you pretty much have, I would say, a good bronzer base to start off with for not only 2018, but in continuing, you know, in the future years. I do understand that this is a starting point for the brand as far as adding not only darker foundations, but darker bronzers, the deeper shades. But I do recommend, I stand by the statement of add those additional darker shades to the butter bronzer lineup, and you're going to see them sell out, guarantee. they will sell out. I do hope this review has been helpful for you on Sunkissed and Deep. Both shades, the new shades, are available on the brand's website as well as on Amazon. I did see them on there. And then they're going to start coming into the local retailers because it is part of their spring 2018 collection. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching. I always appreciate that. Have a wonderful day or evening. And as always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Goodbye, everyone.